Hello all. Today we are going to know about the topic transactional analysis. Transaction analysis, in brief, it is known as TA. So this is a psychoanalytic theory and a method of therapy, and this is developed by Dr. Eric Berne during the 1950s. He is known as the father of transactional analysis. So the father of transactional analysis is Dr. Eric Berne. As we all know, transaction refers to communication exchanges between people. Transaction analysis is a part of social psychology and a method to improve our communication. The International Transaction Analysis Association defines transaction analysis as transaction analysis is a theory of personality and a systematic psychotherapy for personal growth and personal change. So, this is defined as a theory of personality and systematic psychotherapy for our personal growth and personal change. This is a theory of personality which gives you in-depth information of why people behave and why people do in certain situations. Some facts and philosophy of transaction analysis. This transaction analysis theory outlines some basic facts, that is, how we have developed and treat ourselves. The second one is how we relate and communicate with others. Third one is transaction analysis provides suggestions and interventions which will enable us to change and grow. That is, this theory outlines three basic facts. The first one is about ourselves, how we have developed and how we treat ourselves. The second one is about others, that is, how we relate to others and how we communicate with others. The third one is the transaction, it provides suggestions and interventions that will enable us to change and grow. That is, it make modifications in our behavior which will enable us to change and grow in reacting to particular situations. The basic philosophy of transaction analysis are people can change and we all have a right to be in this world and be accepted. That is, this is the philosophy of transaction analysis. That is, we all have the right to be in this world and to be accepted by the people in this world. So the second one is the people can change. Transaction analysis will provide suggestions and intervention that will enable us to change. That is what we have discussed just before. We can discuss about the key concepts in transactional analysis. The key concept is that it is a contractual approach. We all know what is a contract. It is an explicit bilateral commitment to a defined course of action in the world of Eric Berne. So Eric Berne defines a contract as an explicit bilateral commitment to a defined course of action. That is, all parties in a contract need to agree upon why they want to do something, what they want to do according to this contract, with whom are they doing it, by when will they finish it. If any fees or payment or exchange that are involved will have to be decided upon all these parties in the contract. Thus, a contract need to be measurable, manageable, and motivational. So it should be measurable, that is, the goal need to be attainable. It should be manageable, that is, every party involved in this contract should be able to say in advance when the goal will be achieved, and it should be motivational in the sense that the goal should be specific, behavioral, clearly defined, and should be motivational. The ego state. The ego state is the most important aspects of transaction analysis. It talks about how a person feels, behave or think of a situation or at a particular time. Transaction analysis says that we have three different stages of ego. So the first one is child ego, second one is parent ego, and the third one is adult ego state. So we have three ego states: the child ego state, parent ego state, and adult ego state. This classification is not made on the basis of age group. This is made on the basis of how they react or how the individual behaves in a particular situation. Berne devised this concept of ego state to help us explain about how we are made of, how we relate to others. The first one is parent ego state. So this is where the person react to a particular situation or a particular time being just as a way their parents do. So there are moments when you behave in your current state just as a way your parents would do. So in this ego state, the parental ego state, it can be divided again into two, that is the critical or controlling parent state and nurturing parent state. The parent ego state is about the behavior and the feelings that were copied from the parents or from the early caregivers or other authority figures like teachers, grandparents, etc. It is when we use a voice of authority towards someone. If we are using the voice of authority towards someone, we are in the parent ego state. Parent, when in their role, are quite critical in their behavior toward the child. So, as parents or as elders, we should be aware that the first 5 years, the experience a child generate in their first 5 years will contribute to the parent ego state later in their life. The nonverbal communication will be protective and nurturing. The protective in the sense of some gestures, and nurturing will be hugs and kisses the parent will give to the child, or just the same way the person will behave in the situation. A person in this ego state as an adult may tend to be highly critical, judgmental, often deciding for others, protective, nurturing others, etc. The second one is adult ego state. This is the ego state where the person display behavior that is directly related to here and now situation. That is, the individual will be rational. He should be free to choose their response without being influenced by any other ego state. The person in this ego state will look for the solution to a problem in the most effective and rational manner without being too emotional about the situation. The state is more open, more straightforward, less quick to make harsh judgment on the situation or the person. So the person in this ego state is interested in the conversation without being judgmental and will know how to use logic in conflicting situations. When communication takes place at this adult ego state, we are more likely to be respectful, make compromises, listen fully to others, and have more healthy social interaction. So this is the most mature ego state we possess. Ego state is a child ego state. A person in this child ego state displays behavior and feelings which is influenced by our thought in childhood. This is the ego state where we behave like a child. A person in this ego state may display rebellion, delight, whining, sulking, panic, fear, or even a lot of laughter. There are two subdivisions for this child ego state, the adapted child ego state and the free child ego state. The adapted child state wishes to please others and be seen as good and liked by others. It is also having a rebellious side, that is, when we face a perceived conflict in this child ego state. So the adapted child ego state is something fake that we behave like a child to please others and to be seen as good and liked. And the other one is the free child ego state where we will be more creative, spontaneous, playful and pleasure seeking. Now we can know more about the ego states in daily life. So a person is never consciously aware of these ego states. Every person re-experience a part of their parental ego state or the child ego state to base their communication in their present situation. When we are exposed to a situation, we will sometimes be as parental ego state, sometimes will be in adult ego state or even in child ego state. We will not be consciously aware of these ego states. So Eric Berne outlines the presence of each ego state in daily life. If you are a person who uses the traffic rules, who thinks that traffic rules is highly beneficial in life, we will be in parent ego state. And the child ego state is beneficial to keep one creativity and intuitive skills in active. If we lack a child ego state, we won't be that creative in our life. An adult ego state helps one to make decisions based on the present moment to resolve problems with greater accuracy without displaying any influence behavior from ego states. So this is the adult ego state is the most mature ego state where we will be making decisions without being influenced by any other ego states. We will be more straightforward and we will be more confident at this ego state. Now let us discuss about the life positions Eric Berne highlighted on. According to Eric Berne, the result of a person's life are pre-decided based on the 5 years of his life. Life position is thus an interesting story that bring attention to our psychological patterns of thinking, feeling and behaving. However, these life positions are not permanent. They can be altered through counseling or therapy. So these are the 4 life convictions which are used to form these life positions. The first one is I am okay. Second one is I am not okay. Third one is you are okay. Fourth, you are not okay. So let us mix and match all these 4 to form life positions. The first one will be I am okay, you are okay. The second one will be I am okay, you are not okay. The third one will be I am not okay, you are okay. The fourth one will be I am not okay, you are not okay. So this will be the 4 life positions Eric Berne highlighted. So we can move further to these 4 life positions. The first life position is I am okay, you are okay. This is more often defined as a binding life script. This is the life position where the child or the person will be extremely happy. This resembles the relationship between a child and a mother. The child is more comfortable with self and the world at that position. So the child knows the child is lovable and will grow up to trust others and have a long lasting meaningful relationship. So the child and the mother will having a good attitude and give and receive the trust. So this is a life positions resembling that. The person at this life position will be extremely happy and will be trustful and will be trusting others. The second life position is I am not okay but you are okay. The child at this life position or the person at this life position consider themselves on a losing end. That is, they firmly believe themselves as inferior and create life stories that is being more misery. So the individual feels the need to please others while feeling victimized. The individual will feel themselves as victimized and will consider it as a must to please others for living. They often show more support to others' strength instead of their own. They won't believe in their strength but believe in others' strength. The third one is I am okay, you are not okay. This is the life position where we are at most angry situation. The infant grows up thinking that she or he is above others at this life position. This is a superiority complex working on this situation. Such a child becomes an adult, focus on his wants while stepping over others. This child may tend to project their problems on others and play the blame game. That is, they did us wrong and I did the right thing. A person like this always make others feel inferior while feeling okay about themselves. This person will be living in a superior condition and superiority complex will be guiding all the way in his life. The fourth and the final one is I am not okay, you are not okay. That is, this is a situation when a child decide this life position, the child will be having an internal struggle with self and the world. At this situation, the child will be total hopeless and they end up creating a life of misery while not believing in self and taking decisions that put them in the spot of being a victim. That is, the person will be most frustrated and hopeless at this life position. Such a person may withdraw or even injure themselves. This is a time or this is a position where the people will think about suicide or ending their life. Next, we focus on the topic life scripts. So transaction analysis outlines each person has already written their life story or life script based on many things such as life positions. So we have already written our life and the ending of our life on the basis of life positions. That is, whether we need to be happy, we need to be angry, we need to be hopeless or helpless. Byrne highlights that this begins from the day one is born, and this is more focused on the first 5 years of the child. And here, you are the director and the scriptwriter of your life, and you define your ending without your conscious knowledge. Unconsciously, you will be your director and scriptwriter of your life, and you will define and decide your ending. A child observes and prepares his life plan based on external influences as well what happens internally. An infant or child interprets certain parental messages on its own way. That is, being ignored by a mother in early age may lead to the infant growing up to distress women or people in general. That is, if a child is being ignored by his mother continuously, he will grow up to an infant who is not trusting women or people in general. A person may decide I am a loser after being put down frequently by his class teacher. That is, if he is put down frequently by his class teacher in his early life or early stage of life, he will decide himself as a loser. That will adversely affect his future life. The next topic we are going to discuss is about the life transactions and stocks. Eric Berne referred to transaction as a basic unit of social discourse. For example, you greet a colleague with hello and get how are you as a response. So when you continue a conversation, you will receive a series of transactions. So they can occur between different ego states. You will be in different ego states when doing these transactions. Berne defined strokes at the unit of recognition. That is, you exchange a stroke when you say friendly greeting and receive one in response. That is, when you say hello, you are get a how are you question as a response, you are exchanging a stroke. However, a person who does not receive a stroke in return may feel deprived as mentioned by Vaughan. That is, if you are saying hello to a colleague and he just ignore you and you are not getting a return stroke, you will feel deprived at the moment. A person's hunger for stroke begins at an early age. For example, a baby longs to be held and in physical contact with their parent or the caregiver. However, a baby deprived of the same will grow up to experience emotional difficulties and problems. So we all have the hunger for strokes. If we are saying or greeting someone, we would like to be greeted back. So the strokes can be verbal or inverbal, positive or negative, conditional or unconditional. A simple example would be the constant need of sharing updates and selfies on social media. We all are on social media and we will update and stories and selfies in social media. So a person expects likes which are nothing but receiving positive strokes from the family and friends. So this is a basic simple example we can give as in the form of a stroke. Next one is gains. So gains is defined as an ongoing series of ulterior transactions that lead to predictable outcome. That is, this is something which we are given in an unconscious behavior. The game analysis help to understand the games people play. So the examples of some people play will let us understand what the game in life situations means. That is, if a person is saying that I'm only trying to help you, so the person offers help but decides to control behavior. So I'm just trying to help you. That is, a person offers the help but desires to control our behavior. Next one is blemish, that a person finds fault in people. That is, the actual game is to create a distraction from self and avoid looking at their own mistake. That is, to avoid looking at our own mistake, we will blame some other person. And this is a play named Flemish. And the third one is courtroom. A person proves how often they are right while others are wrong. That is, they seek support and sympathy from people. They will say that I was wrong a couple of times and just one time I was wrong. Rest all time I was right. And but the other person, but she was right all the time or she was wrong all the time. They'll be comparing with others the right and wrong things they do. And this is right. This is called courtroom. And this is the game we play called courtroom. And the fourth one is poor me. That is the person seeks sympathy. That is poor me. That is a person often displays themselves as completely helpless here. They're asking for sympathy from others. The first one is just like the person will offer the help and control and wishes to control our behavior. That is, I am only trying to help you. The second one is the person always find fault in other people to keep distracted from seeing our own mistake. That is the second one. The third one is courtroom, where the person will compare the right and wrong things others do so that they get support and sympathy from people. And the poor me is just to seek sympathy and say that they are completely helpless. So now we discuss about the scope of this transaction analysis. So the first one is that we know that many psychiatrists, organizational management consultants, teachers, social workers, or even designers are taking a 4 to 5 year part-time training courses to qualify in this area. And also transaction analysis is international in nature, that is, it is applicable to diverse range of culture. Concept within this transaction analysis are constantly being challenged and developed so that it make it a rich and dynamic process. The merits of transaction analysis. The first one is self-reliance. That is, transaction analysis make us capable of taking our own life decisions without being influenced by others. The second one is it identify the areas of improvement in communication with others and with the self. It, it understand and know where to modify our behavior. It understand messages that influence behavior, remove our limiting beliefs. It helps to develop a better understanding of people. It raises self-awareness towards situations, responding before reacting. It develops a capacity to view situation from adult state, which is the most matured state. It work upon our own life state, making the changes to achieve goal. So this is all about transaction analysis. Hope you all understood. Thank you for watching.